Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day everyone. I am Afif bin Razali and I'm going to introduce a book entitled Literature and Language Learning in EFL Classroom edited by Masayuki Teranishi, Yoshifumi Saito and Katie Wales. This book is a compilation of 19 journals that discusses about how the usage of literature texts can help in the process of teaching and learning in Japanese EFL classroom context. This book is divided into two major sections. The first section of the book, entitled Current Issues and Suggestions for New Approaches, consists of 6 chapters that focuses on the issues of the usage of literature, as well as highlighting theoretical frameworks and current approaches of using literature. The second part of the book, Empirical and Case Studies, consists of 13 chapters that explore several practical applications of empirical research, including variations on a few of the approaches suggested in Part 1.
Hi, my name is Syahmi, and I'm here to talk about the aim of the book. The book is written to guide and prepare educators, especially novice teachers, on how to make use of literature in English teaching and learning, not only in Japan, but applicable to any other countries with English as second language. Many of the issues covered by the project would be of relevance to a much broader audience outside Japan. Furthermore, the book can expose us about how Japanese education system works, and with that, we can take bits and bytes of them in order to improve our own in the near future.
There are 4 issues highlighted by the book. The first issue, difficulties faced by foreign speakers interacting with English literature text. Relatable in Malaysian ESL context, Japanese EFL students tend to face difficulties with English literature text, largely due to the interference of their L1 and the cultural differences. Different languages have different sentence structures, and certain words have different meanings, just like how the words sushi and udon have no equivalent counterparts in the English language. There are several theoretical solutions for the L1 interference provided by the book. One of them can be found in the chapter 3, where Aiko Sato evaluated the good practices found in Japanese L1 literature classrooms and how L2 literature classrooms can adapt them to smoothen students' transition from L1 to L2. Masayuki Teranishi raised an important question in chapter 11. Does learning literature in English facilitate greater depth in learning? And in chapter 13, Kiyo Sakamoto examines the potential of L1 poetry to raise learners' awareness of L2 through translation.
The next issue is the invasion of new media. With the advancement of technology, access to various literature texts is much more easier than before. We have gadgets such as iPad, smartphones, and websites such as Project Gutenberg. In classroom context, digital classroom is on the rise. In Chapter 8, Japanese Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology had promoted digital classroom in order to prepare them to become a literate digital native. In Malaysia, digital classroom is a part of 21st century classroom. According to the book, there are both sides in welcoming new media in L2 literature teaching and learning. The good side is that teachers can encourage creativity by using blended learning and multimedia, thus boosting higher order thinking skills. Then, students will be exposed to wider culture of English-speaking audience by indulging themselves in foreign texts. The other side of the coin is, to emulate this in Malaysia, there might be problems such as lack of equipment and amenities, thus hindering the progress. Moving on, let's talk about Literature Circle. It is a circle of small group of students discussing about literary texts. Literature Circle is a good way to introduce literature in a classroom with mixed abilities, as they will be put inside a circle with multiple reader roles to help each other, and teacher only work as the moderator. It is also usable in a group which language learning is not a main focus, such as Japanese medical students, as stated in the chapter 14 of the book. What is so special about this method of learning? First, the diverse reader roles made it possible to everyone to contribute in the group within their own expertise. Then, Literature Circle will be a jumpstart to other language skills, such as writing and speaking. As proven by the research in Chapter 14, Literature Circle is a good mix of interpersonal and intrapersonal activities, which can aid the students in much more wider disciplines rather than just language learning.
Last but not least is tapping hearts in reading. Reading is largely perceived as a lower order thinking skill. This is because reading is a receptive language skill and it mainly involves the understanding skill, the second bottom skill in the higher order thinking skills hierarchy. In chapter 16, Hiroko Sugimura proposed the idea of incorporating critical thinking into a reading circle activity, where students applied 2 out of the 3 hot skills, analyzing and evaluating in a collaborative manner with their peers. Sugimura found out that novice readers are able to develop HOTS and critical thinking by unearthing hidden messages from L2 texts and forming their own opinions about them. This shows that not only literature can be used to entertain and as a tool to develop understanding, it also has the potential to develop students' critical and higher order thinking skills. As a conclusion, although this book is mainly sourced from the Japanese context of English L2 teaching and learning, Malaysian L2 teachers can still gain invaluable benefits from it as the Japanese and Malaysian L2 situation is not too far off from each other. Furthermore, the book was released in 2015, so the research and the reference are quite updated for the readers. So it is definitely a must read. Thank you.